He kōna ipurangi tēnei nā te reo irirangi o Aotearoa.
G'day, I'm Bruce Hopkins, and this is The Long Way Home. In this week's episode, I restart after my injury. Te Aroha Trail just keeps on delivering. The good, the bad and the ugly. Well, blow me down and call me a leaf. It is Friday the 17th of November, day before my oldest son Tom's birthday. Just started, 10 o'clock, my old mate Captain Noel McLeod drove me up. I gave him the call, said, look, would you be willing to, he's between jobs at the moment, would you be willing to drive me up to Marsden Point in my car and drop me off? So we came up this morning. I'm on my injured leg for the first time with my pack on, and it's actually feeling okay. Like I've only just started, but we're underway. The shin's still looking pretty ugly, but that matches the rest of the body. Like I say, I was getting nervous like I did before I actually started the gig, and now I'm feeling that same kind of nerve, that same kind of feeling like I'm not, just a little bit of lacking confidence that I'm capable of this. Te Aroha Trail, here we come. Take 2. So Lincoln, we're still on Ruakaka, the beach in front of Ruakaka. We've just been having a conversation, you and Rebecca and myself, about the health food that trampers eat. Give us a rundown what your meal was last night again.
Last night's not the perfect example, but it's pretty much anything you can get in your mouth. But we stopped at a convenience store and we got hash browns, bacon, fish fingers, bread and tomato sauce, and basically made up it was a not very flash fish burger, but it tasted amazing and it's full of all the goodness. It's just pretty much carbs, so carbs and a bit of fat, and that's really what you're craving when you're out here. And I don't think any of us would eat that sort of thing in normal life, let alone
well in fact, Rebecca, that was your comment. I wouldn't normally eat this in real life, but you said it was one of the best meals you've ever had.
Like top 5 meals of my whole life. So good. And we say that it's okay because we drink this green drink in the morning, and that makes everything okay.
And what did you have for breakfast again?
This morning I had a scoop of ice cream at 8:30 in the morning, passion fruit. It was great.
And that was after more hash browns and melted cheese. But saying that, we did about 10 hours of hiking the day before, and a pretty substantial mountain. So we like to think we maybe deserve it.
Really cool to suddenly feel that the sense of whānau again with the hiking fraternity. And that Lincoln, the Aussie guy I was talking to, he does a trail runner. He's come here to do this. He's had a couple of years of sort of off a little bit, and so he said he's come here to do Te Aroha, essentially to get his base fitness. This is training for him to get back into his trail running. So here we are, probably 5 o'clock or so on a Friday the 17th. I did 20 kilometres today. My little left toe's telling me bugger off again. No, not into this tramping gig. The shins lasted okay. I am blessed through the friend of a friend of a friend, Julie, who I'd been walking with many days before my injury. She had a friend here in Waipu on a farm, Mary, and who has been gracious enough to house me for the evening before I head on to Mangawhai tomorrow. Beautiful land, native forest up in the background there, beef farm, and Mary's story. Mary lost her husband a number of years ago in an accident on a tractor and carried on. So Mary, thank you so much for having me here.
Oh, you're more than welcome. I'm most impressed with what you're doing.
Well, I'm most impressed with what you've done and continue to do, because you've faced this astounding event in your life and you just went, okay, well, this is our farm. I keep farming. What was that?
If you leave a farm, you also leave your own home. So for the children, I just thought they'd had, obviously this event was major for them. There were 4 of them ranged between 8 and 13. And so to lose a father was big enough, but to lose your home and where you live as well. So if I'd left the farm, it would have been a massive upheaval. So it was a no-brainer really to keep everything the same for them as much as possible.
So your role on the farm, when your husband, what was your husband's name?
Greg.
So when Greg was here, how much of the farm work were you hands-on with compared to what you had to then step into?
Well, yes, there were some jobs that I didn't do because I hated, like fencing and stuff. So Greg would drag me out fencing, and I'd always say, well, actually, you don't pay me enough to do this. Actually, you don't pay me at all. So I'm going home. Any job I hated.
And so now, tending to us innocent Te Araroa walkers who come streaming down the beach, is that going to be another little sort of sideline hobby you take on? Well,
no, just as you said, it's amazing who you meet, because Julia is a friend of mine, and when they said, can we have a bed, I said, of course. It's a big house I'm rambling round in, so why not? Beautiful evening, sitting down with an English girl, 2 Germans and a Belgian girl. So, you don't expect that every night. So
and a Brit come Kiwi.
Yeah, exactly.
Any advice to people out there who face a momentous event in their life?
Well, I don't know. Every situation's obviously different. In my case, I sort of, I had to get up the next morning. I had 4 children. My advice would never ever change anything for the next 2 years. You're not thinking correctly. Then after 2 years, if you think, no, I need to change, then do it.
I'm just about to hit the trail. I've stayed yet another night, my 3rd night in Pakari with Ingrid and Greg. Ingrid, the principal, and her husband Greg. They brought me back to their place. We watched the movie Kiwi Christmas last night with the kids that they were involved in a scene in. So I'm just stepping into the school to say goodbye to all my wonderful new friends. Hey! Are you guys all those movie stars that I saw last night?
You were dressed up as Santa.
I was dressed up as Santa. Santa in black shorts. Hey, I'm going to be heading off very shortly, so I just wanted to come over and say thank you so much, you guys. It's been really cool hanging out with you guys.
Are you gonna bring him back?
Come back. Well, I've got about just over 4 months of walking to do before I get down to Bluff in the South Island. So I'll try and come up and visit once it's all over. Very, very cool.
Right, we're going to sing a little song before you go, Bruce. So,
Hope toro mai toringa kia haereru tia toringa yafi pono yafi taku chinara oe te aroha kia ra toma oe te aroha ngā whakaroto nei
Kia ora. Ka pai ngā hoa. What was your full name again?
John Orr.
John Orr.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I'm from Waikanai.
This has been so cool. I turned up to the Dome Cafe car park to start again this morning, and here's this bloke getting his pack ready, and it's John here. And John, tell us how old you are and when what was the inspiration to start doing this?
Well, I'm 74 in January, and I read Jeff Chappell's book about all the energy and effort he put into getting the trail through, and I've always had an idea it'd be a good thing to do. And my wife and I, we live in Waikanai, where the trail comes out of the Tararuas, and we have young people come and stay there who are doing it. And on the 13th of February, we had a couple of French boys and a German girl stay in, and we had they're great kids. Anyway, after that, I said to Hilary, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do it. I'm going to get started in October. And by jingos, I did, and here we are, Bruce. I think the thing is, being on your own, which is the best part, and it's also the worst part. Because the best part, you can go at your own pace, and it's the worst part because it gets lonely. But you do learn a lot about yourself, and so I guess for the last 5 weeks I've learned an awful lot about myself, and I'm a different person from when I started, believe me, because until you've been through some of these places we've been to, you just can't appreciate how difficult it is. It is very difficult, but very challenging and very rewarding.
So I took off this morning from Dome Valley Cafe, now on Moyers, what's the name?
Moyers Hill.
And I've come across Beryl. So Beryl, could you introduce yourself to the people of New Zealand?
Hello, I'm Beryl and I love walking and I meet all these interesting people.
You were just telling, how many did you meet this morning?
I think you're the 17th.
17 this morning?
I have to be careful to walk south towards the north because they all walk north-south, of course.
Yes. Tell us about the walking.
Well, you can still walk at 80, I find, because that's what I am on Monday. So don't lose heart, just keep it up. You don't have to go fast, just keep going.
And what are the distances you do?
I don't actually know too much. I do 4 hours on my 3 walk days a week and just 1 hour every other day of the week.
4 hours?
Yes, but I do have a little sit down now and again.
All right, it's about 8:30, I think. 23rd November 23rd, I think.
Yeah.
Quite a gathering here at Puhoi. We're about to take off. Everyone sort of seems to be gathering in the park. Let's just have some names.
Hey, my name's Emma. I'm from Alexandra, Central Otago.
Kiwi.
I'm Anya. I'm from Switzerland.
My name is Sergio in Italian, and I'm from Italy.
Shroomer, and I'm from San Francisco in the U.S.
Matt Swanson from Ennis, Montana.
All right.
Coyote, Oregon. Micah, Germany.
But it's so cool to sort of see all this whole, it's like a troop, we're an army. We're going to take a world.
See you later, guys.
Oh God, I'm going to head too. Yep.
We'll see you later on.
Hi ho, it's off to work we go. Look at it. It's pretty cool because everyone takes off like, it's not like you walk as a posse. Everyone heads off and you go at your own pace. You tramp your tramp. And then you catch up at the end of the day again if you're staying at the same place. Part of the whānau of Te Araroa. Toward the end of the 23rd, 4:20, so much road walking. Puhoi into Stillwater. And when I was heading into Stillwater, couldn't help it, down Spur Road, which is where my brother Doug and his wife Joelle and Pascal and Sophie used to live. So I pulled out the little vials of ashes of my brother and father and I put them on the letterbox of 97 Spur Road and took a photo. And when I go to Devonport tomorrow, what I've realised is I'm going to be going past our house in Takapuna, 209 Lake Road. So I'll probably do the same there. So it's kind of cool that the Te Araroa connects up all of these little bits and pieces of former bases where we used to live. See if you can guess what this sound is. Tis the sound of the ocean which comes in from the Pacific, and I'm in Orewa. Well, earlier today I could see Rangitoto, the cone, the top of the cone. Now I can see Whangaparoa. I'm just about in Auckland. I have walked Cape Reinga to Orewa. But here I am, I'm going to have an interview with Matthew from the local Rodney Rag. I'm going to have a milkshake. Say good day to this fellow. Matthew, is it?
The Long Way Home is produced by Bruce Hopkins and Justin Gregory. The executive producer is Tim Watkin. The engineer is Jana Witter. Subscribe to every episode of The Long Way Home at iTunes or at radionz.co.nz/series. And while you're there, please rate us. That way more people get to hear these stories. If you go to the Long Way Home webpage at rnz.co.nz, you'll find an interactive map that follows Bruce as he walks to Aotearoa. Bruce is also on Twitter at BruceHop, so get in touch if you've got tips, questions, or can offer him a bed, a meal, or a hot shower along the way. You can also email him at thelongwayhome@radionz.co.nz. While you're waiting for the next episode, head over to the podcast and series page on RNZ's website and check out our new 5-part podcast series, The Lost. Every year, thousands of New Zealanders go missing. Most are found quickly, but some are never seen again. The Lost digs into some of those missing persons cases and talks to the families about their quest for answers and the hole left by those who've disappeared. In the most recent episode, 2-year-old Jeffrey Hill went outside to play, saying, "I won't go anywhere, Mummy." 50 years later, he still hasn't been seen. Next time in The Long Way Home, Bruce Hopkins heads south out of Auckland, on his way towards Rakiura, Stewart Island, along Te Aroa, New Zealand's trail. The Long Way Home. Whenua whakapapa whānau. Follow us.